when you were in the business as an active wrestler, what was your diet like while you're on the road? Because we hear all the time that it's really difficult to find food that's healthy if you want to maintain a good body, right?
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of my like eating, and it's like I couldn't eat anything after like 3 o'clock in the afternoon because if I did, I'd be thrown up in a ring.
Mm.
Um, so a lot of times uh, I didn't eat. Like I would like what uh, quick stop food, peanuts, beef jerky, whatever. But I drank a lot of beer. I mean, beer. I mean, when I traveled with Dick Murdoch, oh my gosh. I mean, unbelievable. Well, I mean, he was such a great wrestler too, but he could drink that beer, man. And I mean, it's like it was kind of like that was the thing. It's like, especially again, territorial days. Depending on the trip you're going to make. We get to the town and everybody's got a cooler in their car. Stop at the 7-Eleven or wherever you can, get a case of beer, put it on ice, and they'll be ready for the trip home or the trip to the next town. So there was a lot of on the road, drinking. Not necessarily for the driver, but everybody else in the car. Um,
And that
and
was like your meal whenever you'd leave. It's like,
yeah,
let's drink a couple beers.
but I mean, yeah, I mean, I never, like one of my favorite meals, even to this day, is breakfast. I love like 3 eggs over easy, and hash browns, and a double order of sausage or bacon or whatever, and toast. I love breakfast. Um, okay, something else, or so like easy, like hamburger steak. But you know, again, at night after a wrestling show, you're talking about you're getting out at 10:30, 11 o'clock. Unless you stop like at a truck stop and go in and sit down and eat. And none of us ever did that. You would either eat when you got home or wait till the next day.
Do you remember what your general fitness and nutrition regimen was during your best years?
Oh yeah, well, when I went, obviously after I signed with Vince, I started going to the gym on a on a regular basis, but it wasn't like I didn't go with a trainer. I didn't have somebody, like edging me on. I mean, I had been enough of an athlete. I mean, I played high school and college football, so I was not unfamiliar with the gym. But when I started wrestling, and that's the thing, it's like, back in those days, you had some wrestlers that were, pretty, you know, muscled up. But by and large, it wasn't like a necessity. I mean, well, take for example the Funk Brothers. Dory Funk Jr. was a National Wrestling Alliance world champion. And he had a decent physique, but he didn't look like he was in the gym every day. And Terry a little bit more, but not, not muscle bound, and so and there was just a lot of wrestlers that didn't. It's kind of like, okay, I've got to drive where today, and how many hours it's going to take to get there, and then I got to go from there to where, and in all of this, you want me to get in the gym too? Dick Murdoch, Dick Murdoch, was a great wrestler. And he was famous for a big pot belly, a beer belly, you know. But I don't know. I mean, I started working out, and again, I've always told people, I said, I was one of those guys who just I never had the, at one time I had pretty good traps, and and a good chest, and but I've never had huge arms. I had big legs because I played high school and college football. But none of that was like, I didn't ever have this sculptured look. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't want to.
Hmm.
That wasn't that to me. That wasn't a big deal. I mean, but I wanted to obviously look like an athlete, and to appease Vince, I got in the gym. So the rest is history.
And so many of our favorites over the years are not like huge body guys. You, Jake, even modern day wrestling, like a guy like CM Punk, he's not like a body guy. He doesn't have this great, super impressive
Yeah,
body, but he's captivating in the ring. And
yeah,
really, that's probably the most important trait there is.
that's it. That's it.
Now, I know that food was catch as catch can out there on the road, but like when you would eat, are you watching? Are you being careful as you're eating? Because you don't want to overload on carbs or anything like that. Or how does that go? Not so much.
I didn't even know what carbs and protein were then when I started. Oh gosh, yeah, no. I mean, what was my diet? Oh well, a lot of truck stop food. A lot of cheeseburgers and of course I love Tex-Mex, man. I could eat Mexican food every day. I just, I love it. Like again, I grew up in the South and in Arizona, and was exposed to a lot of that. So I'm a big chicken and beef enchilada guy. But that was just, I mean, the nature of the beast back then. It's kind of like, number one, most guys, you can't really eat after maybe two or 3 o'clock at the latest, because you're going to be in the ring in like within 4 to 5 hours, and you don't want to have a heavy stomach, and you don't want to take a chance of blowing up in the ring and even. And so you try to eat early, and I don't know. That was, again, it was cash as cash can. If I was home, it might be different. I can't even remember then what I would do, but I ate a lot of burgers. I ate a lot of chicken. I ate a lot of that truck stop food. I mean, I actually grew up on some of that. My grandmother owned a truck stop
Oh, wow.
in Arizona.
All right, so that was familiar.
Yeah, yeah. Like one of my first jobs was I was the busboy.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, sure, busting them dishes, man.
Well, there you have it. You don't necessarily need to be eating nothing but chicken and turkey and all that stuff to be a pro wrestler. As long as you can get to the gym and you know how to work, you'll be fine.
Yeah, and of course, and the one thing that I would credit Ultimate Warrior for is, and because that was a big part of who he was, his body, his physique, and he did have a tremendous physique, and he was very dedicated, obviously, to the gym and probably what he ate. You would have to be to maintain that kind of physique, especially if you're now a wrestler and you're traveling like we traveled. So that wasn't easy for him to do. And so I give him credit for that.